All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the bell has rung. So, today we're going to be talking about a new unit. Okay, it's actually old stuff. You know, you did this all last year and probably even the year before. Um, but we're going to be covering it again. Okay, we're going to be talking about the slope of lines and things like that. Okay, so if you have a ruler today, please bring a ruler or find something that can work like a ruler because you're going to be drawing lots of diagrams today and things like that. Okay, so for this unit, when you come to class, do yourself a favor and bring a ruler. Okay, and if you have graph paper, that's great. If you don't, um, I put some on an announcement on the Canvas page. Okay. So before we go and start looking at diagrams, I want to say to everybody, very nice work with the logic quiz. Okay. Logic, I posted the grades. Generally, they were very good. I was very happy. Um, if you want to do a retake, okay, let me talk about retakes for just a minute, okay? All right, hold on. Let me let everybody in. Okay. If you want to do a retake, then here's what you have to have. One, you have to complete all 3 logic homeworks. Okay, a lot of you guys have already done that, and that's good. But if you're missing one, please fix it and get it in as quickly as you can. 2, you need to email me so I can send you practice. Now, the practice questions are there because if you, let's just say you screwed up the third part, okay? You got the other 2, but the third part was your weak spot. And if I just give you the test again, or another test like it again, you're probably going to do just as well the second time as you did the first time. So that's why we want to make sure that we fix the issues that you have in those sections before we try it again, okay? And then once you've done the practice, and by the way, I can help. So if you want, we can do the practice questions together, okay? That's okay. We can do it during office hours. We can do it on Monday. We just have to, if you want to do it on Monday, you have to let me know when you want to do it, okay? So that we can schedule it. Because I got lots of appointments on Mondays, but that's okay. I can find time. And there's always after school and office hours if you need help, okay? And then once you've done the practice questions, then I'll open the quiz back up again. Okay, so if you want to retake, okay, please. Right. Well, how about this? Do me a quick favor. In the private chat, send me a little note saying that you want to retake, so that I have an idea about how many retakes I think I'm going to have. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So the people that have sent me private chats, and you want to retake either part of it or all of it. By the way, if you do badly on the retake, it won't bring your score down. It's safe. Kimberly, you can ask me that question in an email, and we'll have a conversation about that. Okay. All right. Now, any questions about retakes? Okay. All right. Good. Like I said, the test went pretty good, and I was pretty happy. So great. All right. So now today we're going to talk about slope. Okay. So let's just kind of revisit some of the things we already know about slope. Can somebody tell me something that they know about slope?
Rise over run.
Good answer. Okay. Slope, we usually use the letter M, right? Don't ask me why. And it's rise over run. And the rise is the up and down, right? And the run is left and right. This is your Y's and your X's. Now, the reason why we use that little triangle there, that's a math symbol. That means change in. So how much is the Y changing and how much is the X changing? Okay. And we can kind of see that on a graph. Like when you count the slope, you know, you go maybe like that. Okay. First of all, is this a positive slope or a negative slope? Yeah, Michelle, if I'm writing it, you're writing it.
Positive.
It's a positive slope. Okay. So our slopes are positive, negative. Positives look like what we just saw. Negatives, they look kind of like that, right? What other kinds of slope can we have? There's two more. Does anybody remember what?
0 when it's like a horizontal line.
Right, exactly.
Infinite or
I know where you're going, but there's this theory. I think I know what you mean. What does it look like?
Is it one undefined?
Yeah, what does that look like? The undefined one.
Vertical?
Yeah.
Vertical?
And that's straight up and down. Okay. Good, 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 good. All right. So what I want to do with you guys today, because you already know, like, I mean, you guys just put this out there. You guys know some of this stuff, right? But what I want to do, I mean, first of all, let me ask you this question. Raise your hand in the you know, like the little, in the participants thing, the little blue hand. Raise your hand if you learned how to do slope using that formula. Or how about this? You were taught that formula. Maybe you don't remember how to use it, but you were taught it, right?
What formula?
There is a formula. It looks like this: y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Does anybody recognize that formula?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Did you enjoy using it?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a really exciting yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, here's the deal. There's another way to do it that might be easier. Now, if you like this formula, you keep working it, man. That's cool. No worries. But for those of us that might not have been fans of this, there's another way to do it. And I just want to show people another way to do it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You can go back to the old way. I don't care. I'm not going to cry which one way or the other. But let me give you an example about how to do it a different way. And maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. All right. So if you wanted to find the slope of, say, between the points -2 and 3, and say 4, -1. Okay. Now, the way I do it is I stack them on top of each other, and you'll see why in a second because it comes out nicely. Okay. 1 second. Someone had a question about where was the 2 and the x. You talking about down here, Cynthia?
Yeah, I got it though. Thank you.
It's okay. That's okay. I didn't see your comment until after I'd already gone past it.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
All right. So here's my way of doing it. And like I said, if you don't like it, just ignore it and do it your old way. Do it the old school way, and that's fine. Watch. 3 minus -1. And what happens when two negatives come in contact? What does this equal?
A positive.
Yeah.
4.
And it equals 4. -2 minus 4.
-6.
And now we just reduce the fraction. And we're done. Let's do that again. How about 7, 0 and -2, 3. So 0 minus 3 is -3. 7 minus -2. Remember, the two negatives cancel and makes 9. And then we just reduce the fraction.
Is the numerator always positive? I mean, negative?
No. But like, and this is a good question because, and thank you for bringing that up, because if I had, okay, so let's look right here for a second. Okay, so these are the two answers that we just had a moment ago. In this problem that I just now did, it was this number that was the -1, right? And when we reduced it, I put the negative up top. Now here, when we did this problem, the negative was down here, and when I reduced the fraction, I put the negative up top. If there's only one negative number, we put it up top, or we can put it out in front. These two are okay. This is not what people like to see. It's not wrong, but it's kind of like bad grammar. You know, like it's kind of like misspelling a word. Somebody might still understand what you're saying, but it's not the way that we usually do it. And it's not the way that it's kind of supposed to be done. You can put the negative up top, you can put the negative out in front, but try not to put the negative down below. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if you have two negatives next to, you know, if both of your numbers are negative, like this one, for example, let's do 2, -1, and 4, 4, Okay, let's do this one. -1 minus 4 is -5. 2 minus 4 is -2. Now, in this example, both numbers were negative. And just like we saw, and as you know, I'm sure, when you have two negatives that come in contact with each other, they become positive, and we have 5/2. And we leave it in that form. We don't turn it into mixed fractions. You remember mixed fractions? That would be like 2 1/2. Okay, you'll never do this in math. Never. Never use mixed fractions. The only time you ever use mixed fractions is in real life, and when you're going to the supermarket and you buy 2.5 pounds of meat or vegetables or something, or you go to the hardware store and you buy 2.5 feet of wood or something like that. You know what I mean? So mixed fractions are not for math. They're for economics when you're buying stuff. Okay, so let's not do that. We leave it like this, where the numerator is bigger. That's fine. Okay, but you always, always, always reduce your fractions. Okay. So let's try some more. By the way, how does this feel?
I kind of like the other way, but I kind of forgot how to do the other way.
And like I said, whichever you prefer, as long as you don't break up the algebra, right? As long as you don't make a math mistake. I don't care which way you use it, which way you do it. And in a minute, we're going to do it in the computer. Okay, so you'll have choices. Okay. All right, so let's do this one. 4, -3, and 4, 2. Wait, I'm going to change my mind. -4. You try this one on your own. When you get an answer, type it into a private chat. Okay, so I'm getting lots of different answers here. Okay. Okay. First things first, everybody. So it kind of looks like people are dancing around two answers, and I think it's because people are subtracting wrong. Okay, watch this. Check it out. From -3 minus 2 is -5. And some people were making a mistake right here, and they were doing 4, well, and this is the right way to do it, 4 minus -4, which gives me 8. Now, some people, I think, added rather than subtracted, and that's why some people got zeros on this part, okay? Let me show you. I'm going to do the exact same problem, but we're going to think about it maybe in a different way, okay? We're going to think about it like a number line. So if you got that one right, good. But if you didn't, watch this. Maybe this will help. think about it like this. If I've got my number line and I'm going from -3 to 2, how far do I walk? I walk from -3 to 2 means I walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going up 5, aren't I? And to go from 4 to -4, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but I'm going down, right? So that's a -8. And remember, we put the negative up top. So it's kind of like, you know, if you were walking on that number line, how far do you walk? Do you walk up or do you walk down? Are you getting bigger or are you getting smaller? Are you walking left or are you walking right? That's kind of like the way to think about it. So let's do one more, maybe two more. Anybody got an answer? Always reduce your fractions. So looking at the chat, it kind of appears to me that people are sometimes maybe messing up the subtraction of the negatives part. But a lot of people aren't reducing their fraction. Okay. So if I'm going from -1 to -1, how far did I walk? If I start here and stop here, how far did I go? Did I go anywhere? I didn't walk at all, did I? I went from -1 to -1. I stood still. That's -1 minus -1. -1 plus 1 is 0. If I'm standing at 3 and I go to -1, how far did I walk? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I went down, didn't I? Now, what's 0 divided by -4? Nothing. Okay. You know what? I think the fraction part is killing y'all. Raise your hand if you hate fractions. All right. Only a few of you. Okay. Okay, guys, do this one. You can do it. What's 5 minus 1? Come on now.
4.
4.
Thank you. What's 2 minus 1?
1.
1.
What's 4 over 1?
4.
That's your slope. Last one for a minute. We'll come back. When you get an answer, put it in the chat, private chat. Okay, so 4 minus 3 is 1. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. And we always put the negative up top if there's only one. I think some of you guys are having issues with the fraction part. So let me ask you, what part of this is troubling? Is it the subtraction part or is it the fraction part? Put it in the chat. You know, I can't walk around and see your work.
The fraction part.
Okay, anybody else agree with him? Anybody else? Is it the subtraction or the fraction or something else? Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably both, right? Okay. Okay. So let's talk about tools. What tool can we use to fix it? Okay. So here's how we're going to do this. Because like if you were in class right now, like if you were in like the building, there would be calculators everywhere, right? And some of you guys have calculators on your phone, and that's fine. But if you don't have a calculator on your phone, or if you want to use a different calculator, let's go. And by the way, this is an important tool anyway. So let's all go to my Canvas page for a minute, okay? I'm going to share my screen. One moment. Screen 2. All right, so we're all sort of looking. This is what you see when you get to my class on Canvas. Okay, so I just want to talk for a few minutes about some things that are here. First, this is where your homework is for tonight, okay? It's all about slope, and we're going to get you all the tools you need to do it, okay? I have graph paper here if you want it, okay? It's not necessary. Some people already have graph paper, and it's not really even graph paper. It's a bunch of grids. I'll show you what I mean. Here it is. It looks like that. So, you know, you can plot points and draw lines and stuff like that if you want to. Okay, but this isn't mandatory. This is just, you know, if you were in my room, there would be a stack of this over in the corner, and you could always go up and grab some. So I'm giving it to you now. So if you wanted to print some, you could. All right, now, let's go back. Now, the tool that you can use to make your life a little easier about the fractions and the subtraction and all of that is this tool right here called the Desmos Graphing Calculator. Okay, let's click on that and it'll open up a new tab. Now remember, by the way, there are two. Okay, there's the Desmos Geometry, which is what you did that homework on, right? You know, triangles and points and stuff like that. That's not the same. This is the one that's more like what you used in Algebra 1. Okay. All right. So first of all, it does do the work of a regular old calculator, right? You know, -3 minus 2 gives me -5. Okay. Oof, pardon me, my leg was falling asleep. All right. And if you're dealing with a fraction, now let's say that was your fraction from your answer, 2 over -4. I don't want a decimal. I want a fraction. So to turn this decimal into a fraction, hit this little button here on the left that looks like a fraction, and boom, there's your answer. Okay. So let's try the formula, or sorry, let's try one more problem. Now, please take a minute, everybody, and load up the calculator so that you can get all of those little mini errors out of the way. Okay? Take a second, everybody go to Canvas and open up Desmos. I want you to know how to use it. We're going to do more in it in a minute anyway. Okay, if you've got Desmos open, try this problem. When you get an answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. Remember to reduce your fractions. Watch your signs. Seven minus -3. What's that equal? Somebody tell me.
10.
Thank you. -6 minus -2. What's that?
8.
4.
-4?
Yes. And now let's put that into Desmos and get a reduced fraction. 10 divided by -4.
-5/2?
Yes. Okay. Some people were getting it. I think we just need some more practice. Okay. Let's try this in using just the calculator. Yeah, some people are cool with the computers. Some people are not. Whatever is your thing, you know. I mean, I understand if you're not the calculator kind of guy, and I'm not a calculator kind of guy. I like pencil and paper myself. But okay, so let's do this. Is everyone with me on the calculator? Everyone's looking at everyone's looking at theirs and looking at mine, right? Okay. See the little plus button up at the top left? Click on that. And we're going to come down and click on table. Now, the last problem we had, we're going to redo that one in the calculator so that we can see it. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put in the X and Y values. We're going to put in the points into this table. Now, remember, the first numbers are the X's and the second numbers are the Y's. So we're going to go ahead and type in -6, 7. And in fact, if we zoom out, yeah, you can see the point. It immediately pops up on the graph. And now let's put in the other point. -2, -3. Okay, and you can see that the other point is put in there too. And we click on them, we can see the coordinate pairs written. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to make the line that goes between them. So far, I want to make sure, raise your hand in the chat if you've made the 2 points on your graph. I want to make sure we're all coming together on this one. Not a lot of people with me today. Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Where is it? If you click on this little bunch of dots next to Y1 and hold it down, okay? Don't just click it, click and hold. And you turn on the line, you'll see the segment that connects the 2 points. All right. Well, that's fine if we want to count. Now remember, look at your scale. This is 7, so you'd have to make sure that you don't count the little half squares. Okay, that can be a little confusing by itself. But now let's make, you guys might have done this in Algebra 1, but actually you guys probably didn't, because in Algebra 1, you would have covered this while you guys were home after March. So maybe nobody's seen this, but watch. Type Y1, and you'll notice that the 1 immediately goes down below, like it's a subscript, like the Y1 is in the table. Okay. And then we're going to use the little not sign that we use. So it's the remember last unit we had the not symbol, the negation symbol. It was this guy, and it's right next to escape, or the 1 key. All right. And now M for the slope, and X 1 plus B. Now, the cool thing is when you're doing your homework, you only have to do this once, because you can just keep using the table over and over again. Now, take a look. You see this? My M is negative 2.5. I wanted a fraction, right? And if I click on the little fraction button, it'll give it to me as a fraction. And that's what we got before. Now remember, they put their negative sign in front. I put my negative sign up top. That's okay, as long as it's not down below. Let's do another one. So when we do this other one, what we're going to do is we're going to keep this y equals mx plus b part. We're going to leave that alone. We don't touch it. But we're just going to erase the stuff that's in my chart. Okay. So let's pick the points 3, 0, and 4, -2. And you guys find me the slope. Plug in those points, just like that, right into the table. I've only gotten 2 people answer. Come on now.
Mister, what are the numbers?
Oh, they're right here on my screen. 3, 0, 4, -2. So 0 minus -2 is 2. And 3 minus 4 is -1. And 2 divided by -1 is -2. And if you did it in Desmos, and there it gives it to you under the parameters right there. Are we all good? Okay, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 5, we've done this before. A 5 is I'm solid, we're good. A 1 is I don't even know what you're talking about. Put it in the chat, private chat. The answer was -2. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing generally some good scores, some good values here. Okay, take a look. So without using Desmos, so I'm gonna stop sharing. Take a look at this. Let's just do we have 2 to do really fast. 2 minus 2?
0.
Thank you, Kimberly. 5 minus 3?
2.
Thank you, Kimberly. What is 0 divided by 2? You can use Desmos for this one if you need to.
0.
Good. Now watch. This is different. Five minus 3? Well, we just saw that. That's 2. 2 minus 2? Well, that's
0.
0. We just saw that, right? Now what's 0, 2, what is 2 divided by 0?
Undefined.
Undefined. Okay, so here's the trick. Take a look and notice something happening right here. Do you see how these were the same and it got me 0? If the 0 is up top, it's 0. But when they give me a 0 down below, it's undefined. So please, please, please write that down. Let's summarize that really quickly. We'll write this down. So look at that. Those are if-then statements. If the y's are the same, then slope is 0. If x's are the same, then the slope is undefined. You need to remember that. Now, what's great is that you'll be able to look at sets of points really fast and see which ones are 0 slope or undefined slope. Okay? Watch. If you had a problem set that looked like this, and I'm not asking you to do these problems, I'm just asking you to look at them. Take a look at those and tell me which ones are 0 slopes and which ones are undefined slopes. You don't even have to do the math. There's no math involved. All you do is use what I just wrote down with the notes. These. If the y's are the same, the slope is 0. If the x's are the same, the slope is undefined. Remember, the x's are in the front and the y's are second. So let's look. Who has y's that are the same? So I'm looking for the second numbers. Are these the same? 1 and -1? -1 and 1? So this is this are these, is this undefined or 0, or is this something else that we'll just have to figure out? Is this a 0 slope, guys? Come on, all you got to do is tell me if the x's are the same or the y's are the same.
They're both 0.
Okay, so is -1 and 1 the same number?
No.
Is 2 and -2 the same number?
No.
So is this either one of these?
No.
Okay, so this one we'll actually have to do the math. Let's take a look at this one. Is 1 and 4 the same number? No, but is -3 and -3 the same number?
Yes.
So are these my x's or are these my y's?
X.
And so is this undefined or is this zero slope?
Undefined.
Undefined. Up here, well, 1 and 2, so no, but 8 and -8, those aren't the same, are they? So with
No.
this one, are we going to have to do the math, right?
Yeah.
We'll actually have to do the math on that one. What about this one? Here, my 3's are the same. Are those x's or y's?
Y.
So is this zero slope or undefined?
Zero slope.
Okay. All right. Now, we are running out of time quickly. So what I'm going to do, one moment.
Mr. Ronco,
Yes, ma'am.
why is it a zero slope?
Because it was, so here, if you were doing it the way I showed you, three minus 3 is 0, and -2 minus 4 is -6. And 0 divided by -6 is 0.
Yeah, but you said if the numbers are the same, it's gonna be undefined, right?
If the x's are the same, then it's undefined. But if the y's are the same, then it's 0.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay. Let's do this. All right, we've only got about 10 minutes left. So I got to cover this really fast, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let me ask you this. Is that a positive slope, a negative slope, 0, or undefined?
Positive.
Good. What did I just draw?
Parallel lines.
Parallel lines. Now let me ask you something. Is this slope positive too?
No. Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, they're both positive. In fact, if we look at these slopes, what do you think about these two slopes? Do you think they're different? Do you think they're the same? Do you think they're unrelated?
Same.
Think about that.
No, they're different, but they'll never like cross each other, right?
Sure, the lines are different, but if I were to look at their slope,
The slope is the same.
yeah, they're both going up at the same speed, right? They're both climbing the same way, aren't they? So this is the big idea with parallel lines, is that parallel lines have the same slope, or you could say equal slope. That's important. Write that down. You need that for your homework tonight. Now, if I had a line, and this was my line, if I said y equals 2/3 x plus 4, what number in that equation is my slope? Which one of those is my slope?
2/3.
Right, that's the slope. So if I wanted a line that was parallel to this, any line that's parallel to this is going to have the same slope. So if the question asks, find the slope of a parallel line to that one, what would your answer be? Right, you just grab the slope because they're the same number. That's your answer. So let's ask another one. What do I have to do first before I can find my slope? Is my slope 5?
No. Divide everything by 2.
Right, I got to get the y alone, right? So I'm going to
Yes.
divide everybody by 2. And my answer, and 8 over 2 is 4. And so what is the slope of a line parallel to this?
5 over 2.
5 over 2, that's your answer. How do we feel about that? Well, I got one of you. Okay. The 4 is your y-intercept. I'm not worried about the y-intercepts. I only want the slope. Okay. Now, last one, new word. You're going to need this word for the whole year. Perpendicular. And it means things that meet at a 90-degree angle. What's another name for a 90-degree angle?
A right triangle.
A right angle, yeah. If it was in a triangle, then it would be a right triangle. But yeah, this is also known as a right angle. Okay. So things that are perpendicular would be like, you know, like the corner of a rectangle or a square or something like that. Or the x-axis and the y-axis, they're perpendicular because, you know, see, they meet at a right angle, okay? All right. Is this slope positive or negative?
Negative.
And what's this slope?
Positive.
So first things that we know is that perpendicular lines, one of them is going to be positive slope and one of them is going to be a negative slope. And in fact, here's the big takeaway message that I want you to know. No, perpendicular. One, you change the sign. And 2, you flip the fraction. So if I had a slope that was like 3 over 4, and I wanted the perpendicular slope.
Negative 4 over 3.
Right. You make it from positive to negative. This number right here, this is a positive fraction. So we make it a negative fraction. And we take the fraction and we flip it upside down. So what about if I had 1 over, or about 1 over 2? What would that turn into?
-2/1.
And what do we do with with anything over 1? We just reduce it.
Yeah, -2.
Yeah. What about just 3 or -3? What would that turn into? That's not a fraction, is it? So how do I turn that into a fraction so that I can flip it?
-3/1.
Yeah, I can always put things over 1, right? Now I can flip it. And what was negative becomes positive, and we're done. So let me ask you this. First of all, are we okay with this? Does this make sense?
Yes.
I got one of you. Cesar, how you doing?
Doing okay.
All right. Really fast then. So this is a question that would pop up on, say, a test or a quiz. If I gave you these slopes, so you would have to decide, kind of like a drag and drop, who's parallel, who's perpendicular, and who's neither.
The first one is perpendicular.
The first one is which?
Perpendicular.
How do you know?
Because they flip it and then they change the sign.
Right. So this is perpendicular. What about these two? Are they the same, or are they negative reciprocals? Or that's that word. When you flip the fraction, it's called a reciprocal. Is this parallel or perpendicular or just nothing?
Parallel.
They kind of look parallel, but one's negative and one's positive. So what do you think? They're not the same, are they?
No, they're not.
And
So
they're not. And we didn't turn them upside down, did we? So
yes, we didn't turn them.
So this is neither. And what about these two?
Maybe parallel.
Why parallel?
Because they're different. No.
You can simplify 8 and 6.
Right. And when we reduce that, what does it become?
4/3. I mean 3/4.
4/3. You're right. And so 4/3 and 4/3, these are
parallel.
These are parallel. Okay. So you have a homework assignment. It's mostly multiple choice, but some of them that you're going to have to find the slope and count and stuff like that. Okay. So everybody enjoy the weekend, do your homework, send me an email. That's another thing you got to do tonight. If you want to do a retake, send me an email and tell me which sections you want to retake, and I'll send you the paperwork and everything for it. Okay? All right. You everyone have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Mr. Ronco?
Yes, ma'am.
For the test, not for the test, sorry, for the homework for today,
Yes.
are we gonna send it to you and like with an email or?
Yeah, you just, because it's a PDF like the last couple ones, you're just
like
going to say, age,
the answers?
the answers, and, some of them are going to be fractions,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So if I wanted to retake the last part, it's gonna be the same as the one we took, or you're gonna
Yes.
change the answers? The
Yeah, it'll
questions?
be just like the one you took the other day.
Yeah.
The numbers will be changed. It'll be pretty much exactly the same, except
The
a little
numbers
bit,
are different.
yeah, a little different.
Yeah, and the stuff.
Yeah, but
So,
same
but I
idea.
don't know what's the thing that I did wrong. That's why I don't know, like if I
Well,
wanted to retake it or no.
Well, that's why you do the practice, because by doing the practice,
Yeah.
you figure out what you need, and then I fix it with you.
All right.
And then when you take it again, you don't make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Subrat, where did you go? There you go. All right. I am right now working on grading everything. Okay. I've got 100 emails, no joke. Actually, it's 120. And yours is in there, and I'm going to get to it. But remember that the quiz is 90% of your grade. Okay. The homework is only 10. So, but I will get to yours, I promise.
I was gonna ask the same question. That
Yeah.
my logic day 3 and my logic day 2 haven't been graded yet.
Yeah, I'm working on getting everything out and done. They'll be knocked out this weekend, I promise.
All right. Thanks.
Sure. Subrat, yes, you can take logic 1 and 3. Absolutely. Send me an email so that I can reply and give you the documents that you need. Okay? Have a good day. Take care, Subrat.